get sidetracked.
Vos no serás capaz de quedarte en casa, hermano. Vos no serás capaz de conectarte ni de marcar el 911. Vos no podrás aspirar cocaína y saltar durante los comerciales de cerveza.
Okay, this is Get Sidetracked. So today I'm going to be talking about Prachuap Khiri Khan, and this is in Thailand. It's basically it's kind of a small town. What attracted to me about this particular small town is that it's on the coast, and the real estate is extremely cheap. So a lot of people, they want to go down to Hua Hin. They know that the cost of living is quite a bit lower than Bangkok, maybe half of that. But then I kind of explored some of the other places like Cha Am right next to Hua Hin. It's also like maybe it's quite a bit cheaper than Hua Hin. And then you go down further down the coast, and Prachuap Khiri Khan is probably like half the price. So it's actually a pretty good place for people who don't have a lot of money to retire to. And actually I met a couple of people who are actually doing that. So basically I just want to share some pictures. There's a temple, so like you can see in the background, there's a place you can hike up to this temple. It overlooks the city, and it's actually quite pretty. There's also a nice waterfront, so this whole boardwalk waterfront, and across the street from it you can see water on one side, and then the other side you can see some some little restaurants, like a pizza place, things like that. The streets in this town are pretty wide, but but kind of typical Thailand, something that I really like is that a lot of the houses are, there's a road, sidewalk, and house. They're all right next to each other. And some of the houses, they turn it into businesses. You can get your hair cut or whatever it is, and they're mixed in, residential and businesses. It's one of the things that I love about Thailand and Asia in general. You can see like just little things you might see, like this tuk-tuk is on the wall, stuff like that. But anyways, I'm going to be showing lots of pictures of the city, and you can see I have my favorite drink. I can get it everywhere in Thailand, basil seed drink, which is thought I'd throw that picture in there too. It's a product of Thailand, and it's actually one of the things that keeps me away from drinking a lot of Coca-Cola or other beverages. Anyways, I just want to share quite a few pictures, so I'm just going to share some stories. You can also see some dogs. I just have one picture of this dog in the park, but when I was walking around at nighttime especially, I met a couple expats there, so I would go out and hang out with them and then walk back to my place. And late at night, kind of typical of Thailand, the dogs converge out onto the streets. They're kind of like little packs of dogs. So in that one particular photo I showed you, I'll show it again right here. But there's a dog inside the playground, and it's like people have kids. There's like you don't know if the dogs are safe, but it's kind of typical of Thailand. They feed the dogs and kind of let them go roaming around like that. And when you're late at night, when I was walking through there, it was kind of stressful because like the whole town is so peaceful and so quiet and so nice, and typical Thailand. I don't feel stressed about anything, about the people at all, like never. But then you got little packs of dogs. So I just want to share this one story. It's kind of funny. So there's an expat. He was the owner of the guest house, married to a Thai wife, and his wife was quite jealous, and she barely spoke any English, like almost nothing. The guy was the owner, so he took his money, married her, got the Thai visa to be able to have a business, and that was their life. But they had no communication, and they were living in that small town, Prachuap Khiri Khan. So there's not a whole lot to do. So I think like typical expats, he wants to meet other expats. But anyways, he made a plan to take us to the station early in the morning, and our bus was going to leave at 8 a.m. So then later we found out that like she didn't really trust him. She was talking to somebody else I know, and they were talking in heart-to-heart kind of stuff, and I guess she doesn't really trust him at all. So what happened at the night before, she came to the hotel rooms of the people that were going to leave and told us, okay, you got to get ready at 3:30 in the morning, because he was going to pick us up at like 6 in the morning and bring us there, and then we'd be there like an hour in advance, because the buses, they're not that reliable. They could come 30 minutes early, and then if you're not there, you miss your bus. Since we were on the road, buses were going through Prachuap Khiri Khan, not as a destination but as a pass through. So anyways, he picked us up. He was going to pick us up at 6 in the morning, but instead his wife was like, oh, we're going to pick you up at privately. Didn't tell him. She's like, oh, plans have changed. The bus is going to be coming a couple hours earlier instead. So she picked us up at 4 a.m. She had somebody at 3:30 or 4 3:30 she was like, no, be quiet, don't let anybody, but she didn't want to wake up her husband. And then basically she took us at 4 a.m. and brought us to the station, and we sat there for like until like 9 o'clock. The bus didn't come at 8, it came at 9, so we had to sit there for like 5 hours waiting for a bus that was just passing by real quick. So you can see the stress, for 5 hours just waiting. And then later I found out from another person that basically she was quite jealous, and she didn't want him to go out and bring us at 8 in the morning because he might just go over and hang out with his friends in the morning and go get coffee or whatever and not come back until mid-afternoon. And I guess she didn't trust him at all. So it's like, oh man, it's just so stressful for that guy. Feel sorry for him. But anyways, that's my little Prachuap Khiri Khan story. And I hope you enjoyed the photos. I hope you enjoyed Get Sidetracked. So, all right, so this is Get Sidetracked. If you like this channel, please subscribe. Subscribe to my channel. Subscribe to my channel.